Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our lesson today. We want to talk about descriptive statistics. Now, there are several ways of getting your descriptive statistics. Some are very easy, some are difficult, and others, let me call it the hard way. So, this in this one, we're just going to look at how we can actually use Excel formulas to get our descriptive statistics by ourselves. Now we have another one that if we go to the data tab, we can actually get an easy one we pick, and Excel will generate the statistics for us. Now we can also do another one using the pivot tables. So let me just generate some data set so we can use that as an example. So this is fictitious data that I'm going to use random numbers to generate. So it is not real data set. So let's say we have these and then sales. We are just simply looking at let's say for the past week, for the past month, we have done some sales in our establishment over a period of time. So let's say, let me use the sequence to generate, let's say 10 days. Okay. Then we have the sales here. Again, let me use the random numbers to generate numbers between 100 and 500. Let's say these are the sales. However, we want to add decimal points to it. So let's just use the run to include um, decimal points in it. So I just drag this across, double click, and it will go. Now let's limit it. Use the round formula to limit it to only two decimal places. Now you can see that as I am typing and changing cells, the values keep on changing as I type or go into a cell and come out of a cell. So all I want to do is copy this and paste it back as value so that I will have stable values that are not changing. Now, once that is done, you can see that it's no more a formula. Looking inside a formula bar, it's no more a formula. It is now a number that will stay unless I change it myself. Now, I would I would have gone to create another, if the data was big, I would have gone to create another sheet here and call that one summary, where I can summarize all my statistics here. But this is just an example. So let me call this a data sheet. This is an example. So I'm going to use just this one with a few examples or a few data set to show how we can expand or scale it to a bigger project. So here I have summary. Then what are the statistics that we are interested in? Basically, we're looking at the mean. Sorry, the mean, the median, the mode. These are the descriptive, the measures of location. If we come to the measures of spread, we have the variance and then standard deviation. Okay. Then when we come to the shape parameters, we have the skewness and we have the kurtosis. So these are the only ones we're going to focus now. We won't look at the other ones. Basically, it's just a formula work, so you would be able to go ahead with all of that if you understand just how to start it. So here I have my sales as the column header. Then the mean, I'm going to type here equals to average. Now average is what will, is the Excel formula that will calculate for us the mean of the values that we're interested in. So we'll complete the typing. So you can see that it just changed. I haven't finished typing. I only typed a few, see what I want, then I press my tab key, then it completes the typing for me. So now I can select the range of values within the sales column that I want to find the average. Close the bracket, press your enter key, and there we are. Now, this is what we're going to do for all of them. But if I do that, for not wasting time on this particular one, going through and coming back again, I'm just going to show you this one, then change a value here. Let's say we're changing a value here, this will automatically change. So let's change this to 0. Then you have this changed. So this is dynamic. So as long as you keep changing the values here, then you keep getting this. What about if we want to go beyond the days that we have used, 11 days, and let's say we have 300 this day, nothing happens. So this one is outside the range, but I want to include every range that is there. Any added number, Excel should be able to recognize it and go ahead to uh, recalculate my statistics again. So for that reason, I'm going to change this for reformat this into a table that Excel understands. So select the range of numbers that you already have, including the headers, and you hold down your control plus your T, and you have this create table dialog that comes. Now you can see from here we have the range is from A1 up to B11, and that is the range here. So we could have just typed this instead of doing that selection. We have another box here, checkbox here, that is indicating marked my table has headers. Now this one comes in to, if I don't have any headers here like the days and sales, then I will pick this off and Excel will automatically create column names for me. But then I have them already selected, so I pick on my table has headers already, so it will ignore the creation of new column names. So that's all I need to do, and I say okay. Now you can reformat this table to any format that you want. You can see from the top here, now we have table design. So any of these, you have a lot of table designs. You can go up and down, or you can just uh, list all of them and pick the one that you want. So the choice is yours. Just pick the one that you want. So I'm gonna just pick the black and the white without any row colors. All right. Now you can see from here too that there is now a filter button that we can just select anything. So this becomes useful in cases where we have categories. And if we want to get the values, the sales for a particular category, we deselect all of them and select only those that we want to see, say okay, and it summarizes them as such. All right, so let me take off the filter and we go back to our original values. Now I can now make changes to this one. You can see here that this is still having the range B2 to B11, okay, without anything. Now I want to give this particular table a name. If we go to the design, table design, you see here it is called table 1 already automatically. But what if this particular one has a name? This table, we want to give it a name that we can remember, a unique name that we can remember. Say sales. So I type sales in place of the table 1, press my enter key, accepted. So now I can take off this one and retype again. Say that equals to, I want the average, so average, complete the typing, then now I can just say sales, and sales will come. It's, you can see that the whole table is selected. Then I would need to pick only this column, the sales column. I don't need the whole table. Right now I'm looking for the sales column, so I use the square bracket now, then indicate sales. I can type in the sales, or you can see that before you even type anything, you see all of these ones coming inside. So your variable names or your column names will always be like this. So I can click on it, or I can actually go ahead to type it here. Okay, close the square bracket, close the parentheses, and then you press your enter key, and there we are. Now if we come back to this, we are adding another row of data. Say the 11th day we sold 300. Now you can see that things are changing. Okay, so 13 we have, let's say, 500. Now let's increase the value abnormally to, let's say, 2000. Okay, and you can see the value. There was a value here, but we took it off. Let me just put some value there. All right, so this is now our table is sorry, our summary table is dynamic, so we can actually make changes or add to this one, and we will have our statistics change automatically for us. Now this is particularly useful where you have every day you are entering data, and every day you want to see your statistics without having to go through a particular refreshing your tables, as in let's say the pivot tables, or having to do the statistics all over again. Okay, so I'm going to the median aspect. So median sales, my square bracket sales. Then I go to the mode. Now this is where I come to. I will do a little something here, but in this case, it is unlikely that you will get a mode. Okay, because I think all the numbers, because of decimal points, they are likely to be, all of them are likely to be unique. Okay, so let's go ahead and pick it anyway. Now the last one here, as you can see, there is some symbol there, caution symbol there. So it is compatible up to 2007. So those of us using 2010, it is allowed in because of compatibility, so that it will carry along programs that you have written in 2003, 2007, thereabout. Okay, so I will pick this if I want just one. The problem with this one is that if I have two modes, it will just pick the first value it has identified. If I pick this one too, the problem is that I haven't created enough space to accommodate up to three or four modes. If you have three or four modes there, so you're gonna have a spillover problem. But all the same, I'm gonna pick this one just for the our example practice sake. So sales, then I have my sales again, close the bracket and press enter, and you can see that this shows there is no mode. Now let's our 2000, let's change it to, let's say, 1 to 4. There is another 1 to 4 up here, so that we can have a mode there. Now this is 500, let's make this 300, another 500. What are we likely to get? Yes, we get two answers. Now the space, it is giving you this because the answer is coming because this cell is not occupied. If it was, then you have the spillover effect. For example, let me just type one in here. Then I come to change something else. What else can I change? What else can I change? Let me type another one. 15, 200, 16, 200. And this is where we have the spillover because we have three of them having frequency of 222. But then if I pick this away, you have the answer coming in. Now you have no way of telling how many modes are going to be there. So because of that, you cannot actually do this. Now let me now come back to say that I want to tweak this table a little, so that if there is one mode, it will display it. If there is no mode, I will know, and the mode is more than two, I will know. Okay, so I know that they are more than two, but then I am just going to pick uh, I'm not going to, for two, I'm not going to consider that. I will have to do further analysis, maybe to look at the different groupings. So I'm going to take this off and start counting. Okay, so I'm going to count, let's say, count, then I put this inside. Just watch the way I'm going to take them one after the other. So I'm counting the modes inside, then it's three. We saw that there were three of them: 200, 500, and 1 to 4. So yes, our modes are three. So again, I'm going to pick this and use the if function there to say that if the number of modes I have is more than one, then just type something for me, multimodal. So MD for multimodal. Um, Let me use this multimodal. Okay, what if it is not? What if it's not? Again, I'm going to use another if. That same count is equals to 1, then I go ahead to calculate the mode. I can still use the multi-mode formula, but it will still give me a 1. So I'm going to pick only this part of it, just this part, and then put it here. So if this is true, if the number of modes is equals to 1, just go ahead and display that mode. Otherwise, you have to say no mode, something like that. Okay, press your enter key and we have that. MD, telling us it's multi-mode. Now let's take off some of them. 134. So this 200 is no more 200. They are no more 500 here. We change one to 300. Now we have only one left. So because of that 124, 125, because we have only one mode left, then we can have it displayed. So this is something that you can use so that you don't have the NA tag there or the spillover problem when you have multiple modes or you have no mode at all. Now, in the case of the variance, we type again var. Then for population and sample, mostly we're going to be dealing with sample data. So we are going to really use this population parameter. So it's just going to be the var with the s attached to it. That is what we're going to be using mostly. So we have var, I press enter key, then it comes to sales, and then sales again, close my two brackets, and okay. Standard deviation the same way, st d standard deviation. Then we pick the one with the s because that is the population value. Sorry, that's the sample value. We don't want to use the population value. So it's in rare occasions that we're going to be using that. All right, so sales, square bracket, sales again, then we close both bracket, and we have that as our standard deviation. Now we come to the shape parameters, the skewness and the ketosis. So skewness is just simple skew. Okay, skew. Then we pick our sales, then sales again, and then we go to ketosis equals to catch. Open bracket, then we type in our sales table, then sales column, close bracket, and that is it. So if you have more than one column, that is what you're going to do for all of them. So that anytime, any day there is a change in the values, you have all these statistics changing automatically for you. So basically, this is the what I will call the hard way of getting your summary statistics. So in the next series of lectures on this one, we are going to look at the using the data tab to get that statistics. All right. So thank you, and do have a nice day.